check this out here. Look at this pretty bird's eye pine here. Love it. So we're gonna make a floating shelf today. I'm gonna show y'all how we're gonna do that. So we're gonna take this here. I think I'm gonna go a little bit under 4 foot with it. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut this now to where I need, and then we got the planer out, table saw, all that. So we're gonna build it and then we'll stain it. So y'all come with me. What's going on, or if y'all gonna be able to see that up there, but we live right by an air station, the Marines out here in Beaufort, and there it is. You probably can see it. That military helicopter has been flying maybe very low to the ground and just been making a couple passes, maybe test flying or something. I don't know, but oh well, used to it around here. They're always flying. What are you doing over there, boy? All right, so we got our links cut now. Now I'm gonna take and run the boards through the table saw. I'm gonna make them, they're 11 1/4 wide right now. I'm gonna make them 11 inches wide. So I'm gonna make a couple passes through the table saw. Then I'll put them on the joiner to get my final measurement. That way I know they're nice and square. I think given the production, you'll take some of that.
And Houston says
all right, so now we're gonna run it through the joiner here. Come on, go ball. Nope. Come on, Riley. Get it together, boy. we got our boards nice square. This is a nice flat line. We're at 11 inches wide on both.
You heard underneath there said, man, the adrenaline was going so much I could have said, what a problem. I mean, you know, they all came out and ran
Now
on
we're going to do the
framing,
so to speak. So we're just going to do it out of 2x4s. I know some people use like the metal brackets and stuff like that. We're not going to mess with that. We're just going to use 2x4s because this shelf isn't going to be holding a lot of weight anyway. I do wish on this rolling stand here that these were maybe even a half a foot longer. When you get 12-foot boards and you only cut a couple inches off, or you're truing up the factory edge, they're not out far enough to hold it. So that's one thing to walk and do on the next one. Is make these arms. All right, so this is the piece here. I've got, as you see, I got these all glued and I got them screwed from the back here. This is the piece that goes on the wall, and then the shelf slides over it. I'll show you in a minute. I'm trying to give this glue just a little bit longer to set up. These are my side pieces here. I still got to cut them, but they're gonna go like that here, and then I'll have one whole face board like that. So I'll show y'all all that process because I'm about to cut the side boards to length now.
See all the new Braves to win here against the Houston Astros. Okay, we're gonna get you back to Braves baseball. Georgia Natural Gas.
Ready to play ball with a new gas company? Georgia Natural Gas knocks it out of the park with simple service and great rates. And when it comes to helping the environment, GMG's Greener Life program makes it as easy as paying your gas bill. Sign up for the home team today.
Good guys, up 2-0 as we go to the 7th inning here. New pitcher after Javier with 6. Bill Bates comes into the game. This guy's pretty good. 8 games this year, 9 2/3 innings, no runs allowed. There's an inning there. Perfect relief on Friday night. That's when the Astros won 6-4. That's the game when the Braves jumped out 4 in the first, but Astros came from behind. And last night, Braves got up 1-0, and then the Astros
Which one are you going to stay in?
trying to take advantage and take a 2-0 lead in the series. I'm going to say just 465 against the top. 2 for 31. Off to a good start. Yeah, impressive. A bullpen that was so sensational for them last season. Going in this series, this Houston bullpen 6 in the third. They haven't even given up a hit, let alone a run. On 2 to Hilliard. 2-2. I see why so many people are in that as a team.
So we got the box, so to speak, built. So this is the actual shelf. As you see, I've got the wood filler in. So this is the face here, and I believe this is the top. But this is the face. All I did was some 18 gauge 1.5" brad nails there, wood filler. Yeah, I put the wood filler on a little thick. That's fine. I'm gonna sand all that down because I got to do a lot of sanding on this anyways. The side pieces here, don't worry, this glue line will go away because I've got to sand all that. So the side pieces, I put trim screws. I think it was 1.25" or 1.5" trim screws on that. So I did that on both the sides. So I did the sides first, got those nice and flush, and then I did the top piece. This is just a 1x8 here. I cut it, you know, measure to your width that you need, cut it, glue it on. So everything's glued and everything's like I said, the front's nailed, and I nailed it versus screwed it because it's smaller holes to fill in with the wood filler, because wood filler don't really take stain. So if I had done these, you know, on the face here, you would have seen, you know, spots everywhere down this wood. So figured brad nail was the best for that. Here's this is dry, ready to go, so I'll show y'all how to put that on the wall. For now, we're gonna let this dry, give it, you know, a little bit, and I'll come back and I'll do all the sanding, and then I'm gonna take the router and round over all the edges, get it nice and smooth. So I'll come back when it's time to do all that. So we just got done sanding with the 80 grit here, and as you can see, that wood filler filled in nice. You see, this is why I did, you know, the brad nails. I can see them right now, but you'll barely see those when this thing's in position. Man, you can't beat that view for a workshop, can you? All right, so, but I'm not gonna show y'all me sanding it. So we're doing the 80 grit. Now I'm about to go down to a 160, sand that, and then after that we'll break out the router, and I'll show y'all, you know, routing the edges and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so we got it all sanded. Everything's ready to go. We got the little compact router here. We got a 1/4 inch round over bit in here. I'll leave a link in the description for all the tools used, and if you're liking what you see so far, please hit that like and subscribe button. Follow for more content. Thank you. So like I said, 1/4 inch round over bit. Round over is my preferred edge. That's just what I like. Before I started using routers, you can achieve it with a sander, orbital sander, hand sander, you know, just kind of go at an angle there. I'll probably put that in a different video and show you how to get a round over edge without a router. But the router is definitely the go-to if you have one. But this is it so far. So we're gonna round over these edges. We'll do another light sanding on it, and then we will put the stain on it. So I'm gonna show you the rest of the process here, because these are the finishing touches. And here we go, we're about to do this. One thing I forgot to mention, when you're doing this stuff, especially like a round over, I don't have it all the way out. I'm not taking the full amount of wood in one pass. You want to work up to it. If you go all the way deep, you risk like chipping or blowing it out or something. So I always start, you know, just a very light passes, multiple light passes, until you get down to the round over that you want to finish with. Okay, something else I forgot to mention as well. So when you're doing this and you know, you put your edge of the wood right up here, I always put I always do it with my left hand. Whatever, if you're left-handed, maybe you'll, you know, do it with your right hand, you know, whatever works for you, to put pressure down. And then I grab it at the base and I'm pushing in against the wood. So push in against the wood. I'm not pushing super hard, but I'm keeping just a steady amount of pressure. So I'm pushing in and down, and I'm keeping this pressure down on the wood to keep this thing, because if you start rocking with this like this, it'll start gouging in and going deeper in certain spots, and then it'll just look real, you know, real wavy. Okay, so like I was saying, as you see, it doesn't even really look like we've got much of a round over going here, but you want to start with that. All right, like I said, the first couple passes, you do not want to go all the way deep. You'll have blowouts and everything, and I'm not going to demonstrate that, because to me that would ruin this whole piece. So just do as I say. So now, as you see, you know, we're getting a little bit more of a rounded edge here. I want, you know, more defined, or I want more of a rounded edge than that. I just want to stress to y'all, work your way up to your desired rounded edge. If you don't, you're going to ruin the whole piece. And another thing too, I like to do, you may not do it this way, you don't really have to, but on the last, when I get to the final round over I want, on the last one, I do my verticals first, then I do my horizontals. To me, I just think it looks better. Now, let me show y'all, 'cause I noticed it on a couple places. Yeah, like right here. So if you look, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but so I had it set just a little too deep, right? And you see that line there? If you set that round over a bit too long or too deep, it's gonna leave a line. It'll give you a different profile. So, but that's simple. I'm just gonna go with a light sand over it and it'll clean that right up. Now you wanna be careful, don't sand the profile on your edge. Just like that. Just like that, and it cleans that line up. So I'm gonna go around and do that now. Alright. So there you have it. So now we're going to break out the air compressor. You can break out a blower, you can break out a rag and water, whatever you want to do. I just like an air compressor, and then I'll wipe it down, and then we're going to stain it. So I'll come back and show y'all, you know, what I'm going to stain it, how I'm going to stain it, and the process for that. All right, but that's it right there. That's technically the finished product. I'm staining this. I do not, you know, you can paint it. You can put whatever finish you want on this. I personally do not paint, I don't paint wood, all right? You know, like trim in a house and stuff, that's different. But a piece like this, unless the customer asks for it, I will not paint it. This is for my personal house, so I'm not painting it. This is getting stained. I love to see the wood grain. You'll see, once that stain hits, it's really gonna pop. All right, so we've got it cleaned off really good. Make sure you clean it off really good. You don't want a bunch of sawdust on your piece here before you go to stain it. So we're gonna do a English chestnut here, 233. We'll see how this works. It's gonna go on pretty dark, but it'll lighten up, and we're actually going to do some clear as well. So you can put this on a bunch of different ways. Some people use a brush, some people use a foam brush. I just always grab these little blue shop towels here, and they've always worked well for me. Make sure to get this on nice and even, otherwise it'll look pretty splotchy. there she is. That's the finished product. We're about to go install it now. I'm not going to show that process. There's a lot of stuff going on inside. We got dishes, groceries being put away, all that good stuff. I can walk y'all through and tell you how I did it. And like I told you earlier, I used 4-inch lag, GRK lag screws to hold that the framing we built earlier. So put that on the wall, get that on there nice and level. And then I'm gonna take these 2-inch screws here and I'm gonna come in on the top, and that's what's gonna hold this on. And that's it. Pretty simple stuff there. But I'll show y'all once it's put up on the wall and everything. Alright, so here it is. Here. All finished, up on the wall. Mainly did it for the modem here. But as you see, we took that framing that we built yesterday, we secured it to the wall, then we just slid this thing over it. And I'll bring you up there and show you, but just screwed some screws down on the top to, you know, keep it from sliding off and down. And I mean, that thing's not going anywhere. It holds stuff. We've already put stuff up here. I wanted to test it out and everything before I showed you, but holds everything. It doesn't move. There is one kicker, and I had to put it this low because of the outlets. And if it becomes a problem, then I'll just move the outlets up. But I didn't want to do that much work. But as you see, like most everything, I will hit my head on it. But that has nothing to do with the actual shelf itself. I'll show you why, you know, I had to take it that low. So as you see, the outlets there, so I can only take it up so high. But if you look, I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but there's screws right there. So like I said, I just use 1.5 deck screws, construction screws, whatever. Make sure you screw, when you do this right here, make sure you screw into that 2x4 plate that you put up against the wall. If you wanted to get, you know, real technical with it, you could probably screw into the supports that you have running out here. I didn't feel necessary for that. But as you see, you know, it sits nice and tight. Well, you probably ain't gonna see that, but you know, it sits nice and tight up against the wall. This is stained material, so I'm not caulking none of that. If this was painted, you know, you could go as far as to caulking this, however you want to do it, but this is it. So between the material, I already had the stain, but I'll leave a link in the description on, you know, how much all this would cost if you had to buy it all outright. But once again, once you buy these materials, you'll have enough to do a couple of these shelves or some other projects or something like that. But if I had to take a guess from scratch, I had most of the stuff already. But if you had to buy this stuff from scratch, I would say maybe 60 bucks you're in this. And this is a handmade shelf. This shelf will probably last longer than I will. This isn't one of those cheap shelves you're going to get on Amazon that will last you a couple months at best. I've installed some customers, you know, Amazon floating shelves, and I've always had to put extra supports on them and this and that. They feel pretty weak.